these are the top 15 most misunderstood Minecraft myths. The first myth is that mushrooms and saplings ignore the world build limit when you bone meal them. And the reality is that they can't even grow. If you try growing a sapling within 5 blocks of the world limit, the sapling just isn't going to grow at all. So this myth is busted. Most people know that when you sprint jump, you go faster than normal sprinting. But how about with speed 2? Many people misunderstood that with speed 2 you also go faster, but this isn't the case, since you actually move 1 block less. The reason for this is because speed 2 only works when you're on the ground, and when you're sprint jumping, you spend more time in the air. So this myth is busted. So you can use a Riptide trident to propel yourself off normal water, but you can't Riptide trident out of a normal cauldron, and you can Riptide trident off a waterlogged block. Or can you? Well, it might not be what you think. If you're on a slab, then it works. But if you ever attempt to waterlog any full blocks, such as leaves or copper grates, it won't work. But if you go into a waterlogged non-full block, such as a chest or a slab, you can easily propel yourself off, which doesn't make any sense. Like, you can Riptide off no pixels of water. I guess it still counts, but it's kind of glitched. And with so much obvious water that's in a cauldron, it doesn't make sense that you can't just use it. So I guess it's both. The next myth is that zombie Nautilus can breathe out of water. If you didn't know, normal Nautilus will drown if they're not in water. So is that true with their zombie partner? Well, with a simple experiment, you can see that yes indeed, zombie Nautilus can survive in the air without any water. So indeed, this myth is true. You probably know that when you're running or jumping and you hit something, you'll do something called a critical hit. But Mojang just added a new item, and most people think that you can just do critical hits like normal because it's another weapon. But I haven't even tried, so let's test it out. So when you normally critical hit something, you will have some stars that come off. But as you can see, when we try to critical hit with a spear, there's nothing, and it does just as much damage as normal. So no, you cannot critical hit with a spear. The next myth is that you can't damage Shulkers when they're closed. Did you know I actually used to believe this, but I've never actually tested it, so today we will be testing it. Okay, so if you hit it when the Shulker shells are closed, I found out that there's hearts that are next to it, and if you hit it enough times, it will eventually die. That means it does do a lot less damage, but it's still damaging it. So this myth is false. They can still be damaged even if their shells are closed. It just affects them a lot less. The next myth is that Endermen immediately get aggravated when you look at their eyes. Which might seem true because when you look at them, they do get aggravated. But did you know that you actually have to look at them for a certain amount of time? If you sweep around and look at them for less than a quarter of a second, they actually don't get mad at you. So you can look at Enderman, just don't do it for too long. So this myth is busted. Okay, our next myth is, do cave spiders always poison you? But the reality might actually surprise you. On easy mode, cave spiders actually can't even poison you. And on normal mode, cave spiders will do 6 seconds of poison, which does a total of 3.5 hearts. But if you happen to be on hard mode, then the cave spider will cause 15 seconds of poison, which ultimately causes you to take 7 hearts of damage. Wow, they really pack a punch. You know how if a chicken falls off a ledge, it doesn't take fall damage? Well, it's because it has wings. So, if I tie a bunch of chickens, will it mean that I won't take any fall damage? I don't know why, but it's a question. So, we are testing it. So, after I did some tests, you cannot protect yourself from fall damage with chickens. Even with all these brain rot shorts saying that you can, the leads just immediately break off. So, no, you cannot use chickens to fly. So creepers are scared of cats, but did you know that elder guardians actually are also scared of something. Elder Guardians get attacked by axolotls. And this is, in fact, a true fact. So the next time you're going to an ocean monument, maybe bring an axolotl or 2 or 3. We all know the pain of taming a horse in Minecraft. So, can you just give it an enchanted golden apple for it to be instantly tamed? A lot of people think that you can just instantly tame a horse with an enchanted golden apple, but you just can't. It's the same chance as a normal golden apple, and even if it did work, why would you? A good amount of people think the silence armor trim is the rarest armor trim because... But I mean, they are rare. They only appear in ancient cities, and they only appear in very little of the ancient city chests. And you also have to deal with the dumb warden. But it isn't technically the rarest armor trim because there's one even rarer. It's the eye armor trim, which on the surface might be a lot easier to get because it's in libraries of strongholds and they appear 100% of the time in the library chests. Even though the silence armor trim is harder to get, there are only 128 strongholds in your world, so it is technically more rare. And you can just duplicate armor trim, so I guess there's no real rarest armor trim, but it is technically the rarest. Another really popularly believed myth is that sugarcane will grow faster on sand. But in reality, that's just not true, because even if you use moss, it's still going to grow at the exact same speed. So using any block is not going to make a difference when you're growing sugarcane. So if you can't find any deserts or beaches nearby, using some moss is a good alternative. It's pretty popularly accepted that water cannot exist in the Nether because it's just too hot. Even wet sponges just instantly dry up. But what if I tell you that you can actually flood the Nether, but you do need cheats on? If you use the /fill or /block commands, you can technically make water exist in the Nether, so this myth is false. The next myth is that blocks are glitched on the world border. You may have even heard of the slab glitch, and the half slab is possible because blocks actually are glitched on the world border. But the weird thing is if you place the block normally, it's completely normal. But the oddities start happening if you put a sticky piston and then push another block into that block that was on the world border. And then that block becomes a ghost block. And this ghost block is actually quite weird. You can push blocks into it, you can stand on it, water flows around it, but you can't break it. If you didn't know, you could use the dinner bone name tag to make normal mobs flip upside down. This was an Easter egg left in by an early Minecraft employee named Dinnerbone. But can I use the Dinnerbone name tag to make the Ender Dragon or Warden or even Wither flip upside down? And the conclusion I got to was that you can make some boss mobs upside down using the Dinnerbone or Grum name tag. You can make the Wither and the Warden, but you can't make the Ender Dragon flip upside down because you can't even name the Ender Dragon. So this myth is false. You can't make all boss mobs flip upside down with the Dinnerbone or Grum name tag.